Hey, what's up, guys? Tony here, and this is another MLB 11 Road to the Show with Scott McLean. And you guys probably thought that Scott McLean was not making his way on YouTube anymore, but that is definitely not the case. I've been playing with Scott McLean. I just haven't had a chance to record anything, and mainly that's because what I wanted to do is focus a little bit upon Matt Adams and Chester Anderson and their sort of pathway to show and continue to show you guys how I go about upgrading a character and applying those performance points and all that stuff. But I figured, hey, you know what? I haven't done a Scott McLean video in a while, so here it is. And just by chance, I didn't really select this, so Topher, don't think I'm picking on your Cardinals. But by chance, I was playing the Cardinals. And what's really interesting right now is my character has gotten to the point where he gets booed when he comes up, at least against the Cardinals. And I've done some serious damage against the Cardinals, and I'm not entirely sure if the computer remembers that or takes it into account. But I was watching this replay right before I started this commentary, and I'm like, they're booing me. Every time I hear my name come up, they start booing. And at first I kind of smiled because, you know, it's just kind of like one of those things where you don't know quite how to take that. You know, your player is at that level where this is his second big league season, and he's getting booed. It's kind of nice, and there is really some bad blood, in my opinion, being on the Padres side of things, between the Padres and the Cardinals. And mainly it's because the Cardinals always seem to kick the Padres out of the playoffs. So it's nice to be on, like, have the other team be on the other side, you know, and they have a player that they can boo, you know. There's just something about it, because, you know, I don't particularly like seeing Albert Pujols come up to bat because the guy's just a beast. And anyways, I'm gonna digress from that. One thing I did is I actually got on my baseball team's website. Well, we don't have a website, but our league has a website with our stats and stuff. And I mentioned this before. I'm not one to like really care about my stats. Because I've found before in my own personal past, they sort of clogged and clouded my vision about what I'm playing. So if I see that I went, you know, 1 for 5 or something, you know, I used to in the past get all concerned about it, like, oh crap, I'm not playing well, I need to hit better and shit like that. But anyways, I figured maybe you guys might be interested. So I'm going to go down this road of giving you guys my stats for the season so far. Now, mind you, there's only been 2 games, but I'm going to do my best not to concern myself with my own personal stats. But I mentioned that I didn't have the line on last commentary from my pitching, but here's how I did from my last pitching appearance, the one that, yeah, look at that, it's Pop-Tart time. But mainly that's for Call of Duty. I don't think I've ever had a Pop-Tart while playing MLB 11, but thank you. So I pitched 4 innings last game, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. I walked 5. I hit 1 guy, 1 earned run. So I had a 2.25 ERA. My WHIP, which is walks hits per inning, was 1.75. And so that's a big thing with me. It's always been a big thing with me. I need to concern myself and focus more on cutting down on those walks. I mean, 5 walks in 4 innings pitched, that's a lot. Plus the hit batter, I mean, that's 6 in 4 innings. The guy's reaching base because of me and my inability, if you will, to not make my pitches. And so that's something that maybe with more time on the hill, more pitching, you know, experience again, just sort of knocking the rust off further, I'll be able to spot my pitches a little bit better. And that's really been something that I've struggled with, you know, since I've been trying to get back on the hill, is making sure I hit my spots with my fastball, not trying to overthrow, because that's look at that, hung himself with a 2-seamer right there. But that's Roy Oswald. I didn't know that until the next at-bat when someone mentioned it, or maybe it was just a bat after that. But yeah, Roy Oswald, I'm like, whoa, man, that guy's a good pitcher. And he just he hung the shit out of one. And that's what you do when they hang pitches. But anyways, yeah, I totally forgot what I was saying. But I'll go into my season right now. My stats for my line for the season goes pitching-wise: 7 innings pitched, 4 Ks, 4 hits, 5 walks, 1 hit batter, 2 runs, 1 earned run. So I've got a 1.29 ERA, and my walks hits per inning, the WHIP, is 1.42. So that's okay. I'd love to get that down to about a 1 or 1.2. I don't need to be giving up a 1.5 base hits or walks. Someone reaching 1.5 times per inning. I don't want to get that. 1 per inning is really good. If I can get that down to a 1, that would be awesome. And that's really like when you hear people going, oh, what's your batting average? What's your batting average? Batting average really doesn't paint the whole picture. It's kind of like KD. When you want to look at how good a player is in a team game, you want to look at, for, say, a pitcher, you want to look at the walks, the hits per inning. The ERA is kind of important with a pitcher. But what's important for a hitter, though, is on-base percentage, in my opinion, because that'll tell you how many times he actually gets on base. The batting average is how many times has he successfully gotten a base hit, but that doesn't take into account walks or getting hit by a pitch, because those are times you get on base, and so your on-base percentage goes up. So that's really a true story, what tells of a hitter, like how often do they get on base. And I didn't even calculate that, but here we go. I'm 2 for 8 for the season right now as a hitter. Scored 1 run. I struck out 3 times. I'm hitting 250. I don't have to. The on-base percentage is going to be 252 because I haven't walked yet. I haven't gotten hit yet. So I'm hitting 250 for the season. It's okay. I'd like it to be higher, but I'm going to do what I can with my 3 or 4 at-bats this season. That's really just kind of like how it goes. So going back to the gameplay here, I really handle Cardinals pitching really well, and I handle Cardinals pitching at Busch Stadium really well. I don't know what it is. He's hung a curveball right there. And so this is the second time that I've taken Oswald yard in one game. And I probably earned a few more boos the next time around in my next at-bat. So, anyways, let me go and transition to some other baseball news. And last night I was watching the MLB Network at a friend of mine's house, and one of the little ticker tapes was going by. And we were just sort of watching the highlights and stuff of, I think it was Justin Verlander handling the Twins or something. And on the bottom ticker tape, if you notice right there, that guy bobbled it, and so when he bobbled it, I'm taking off for second base. That's what you do when those guys make those errors. But anyways, on the ticker tape, it said that Anthony Rizzo was recalled to AAA, and we called Kyle Blanks back up. Now, I haven't mentioned this in a commentary before because I'm not trying to, like, every time I do a commentary, talk about Padres stuff. What is up, SD? But I've been saying for the last month or so that we need to send Anthony Rizzo back down to AAA, recall Kyle Blanks, and that's because Anthony Rizzo just hasn't been hitting. Like, he came out of the gate on fire. He hit 2 for 3 his first game, hit a home run his second game, so he'd already had a home run and a triple and I think a double or something for his career in his first 2 major league games, and everybody thought this guy was going to be a stud, and then he just lost it. He just couldn't hit the ball, and he's a guy who has shown in spring training he can hit the ball, and I don't know if he put pressure on himself or the Padres accidentally put pressure on him to become our next great power hitter. I'm not sure exactly how that went, but he's just not hitting the ball. And so I've been feeling, like I said, for a while that we need to send him back down to AAA and call Kyle Blanks back up, who was injured last year, who has shown that he can hit at the major league level, and he can platoon between the outfield and the infield. So he's a far more versatile player. And to be honest, the reason why we stuck him in the outfield is because we had Gonzalez. So now that Gonzalez is gone, we've got a spot open for Kyle Blanks to play. So maybe he'll get a chance to get his shot as a starting first baseman for the Padres. And if he can hit like he did 2 seasons ago, because he had like 10 home runs in I don't know how many games, like 50 games or something like that, he really tore the cover off the ball. I mean, he was hitting really well. So for you fellow Padre fans, if you remember that, the guy could play some baseball, and he was really hampered by the fact that we had Adrian Gonzalez over there. Pretty much our solid first baseman. Very rarely did that guy sit a game out. So now that he is gone, there's room there, and I think what the heck's his name? Guzman is playing first base right now. So we got so many new guys on the team. It's kind of ridiculous. I haven't really been keeping up. I should be, but I'm not. But also something else. Speaking of Major League Baseball, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Florida Marlins are changing their name now. That they're still going to be the Marlins, but they're now going to be the Miami Marlins. And it's just kind of interesting, like when the California Angels changed their name to Anaheim, and then they changed their name to Los Angeles, and just all this name changing. I guess they're changing the uniforms, they're changing everything up. And I can kind of understand that because the Marlins themselves don't seem to pull a lot of fan base. You know, maybe they do have like a very devoted, loyal fan base, but we don't see it because they're just not that good. And we're also in California. I am. But with teams, say, like the Rays, I mean, they've got a tremendous fan base. And maybe it's because they play in the AL East with teams like the Red Sox and the Yankees, Orioles, and the Blue Jays. You know, those are historic teams for the most part. And also it helps that they went to the World Series. I mean, you go to the World Series, you're gonna attract fans. Well, you know what? That's not fair to say because the Marlins went to the World Series in '97 and 2003, I think, and they won both times. And then they dismantled their team. So I don't quite understand the Marlins' game plan. And this is the first of a couple home runs I hit this game. This felt really good. Not because it's the Cardinals, but just because Scott McLean was actually struggling to this point. I was kind of having a hard time playing with him. He was just struggling, so it was nice to get that off my back. And then there's also the Dodgers situation. If you guys have been paying close attention, the Dodgers situation, it was a federal judge, I think, ruled that this other option for he just hung that pitch. He just belt high out of the middle play it. You're asking to have it hit in the same spot. But the Dodgers have to take, basically, Major League Baseball owns the Dodgers now, which is kind of strange because I never figured how that would work. Like now that Major League Baseball as an organization owns a baseball team. I think what they're going to do is like when you have a franchise, you hold on to it until another franchise owner comes along to buy it away. I don't think it's going to be something they're going to hold on to and start collecting, and suddenly Major League Baseball is going to become this gigantic business in itself. I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, anyways, it's just weird that one of the oldest storied franchise in baseball is in this financial situation. It's quite sad. I mean, even as a Padre fan, it's sad because it's sad for baseball. You know, these guys, these millionaires really need to handle their business because they've got millionaires playing under them. So I guess these are billionaires, getting these millionaires to play some baseball. So, and there's something else. So that's kind of sad with the Dodgers. But the last thing I want to talk about is this whole idea that they're going to restructure the league here pretty soon. They're going to rebalance the leagues. I guess they want to have 15 and 15, which would, from what I understand, would throw off the balance of the league and would kind of mess with things a little bit. So I'm kind of curious to know how they're going to do this league restructuring, if they're going to add new teams or whatever. And that's home run number 4. I've never hit 4 home runs in a single game before, and that was pretty exciting, at least on a road to the show. So that was kind of cool. But I don't know how they're going to handle the restructuring of the league. And, if you guys remember, God, it was in the 90s. The Brewers went from the American League to the National League, and so it's not an unprecedented thing. So anyways, guys, I went 5 for 5 in that game, 4 dingers, 7 ribbies. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll talk to you later.